Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I had 3 different topics for a video today that I wanted to cover, and I started to write a script. And when I say write a script, I don't mean like word for word. I'm not reading a teleprompter when I do these videos. I'm just covering bullet points that you can't see that are off screen on a notepad. That's my system. That's what I've done for 6 years now, over 6 years really. It allows me a chance to speak to you like I'm talking to a close friend. And so it's conversational, but it also is targeted, because even though I always get, I basically get negative feedback from the comment section of my videos that my videos are too wordy and they're too long. I also get comments that people like to listen to me talk about the game when they're driving, like a podcast. And so they actually prefer the longer videos. Not every video is going to be for you, is what I'm saying. Some videos might be for somebody else, and if you don't click on it, I completely understand, but I appreciate that you clicked on this one. So if you're watching this and listening to this, thanks for watching. If you're listening to this and you're with a friend or a partner and you're doing this to support them, even better, because some wives and some husbands and some girlfriends and some boyfriends have had to hear my voice way longer than anyone should normally be subjected to a stranger, and I am self-aware enough to recognize that and say thank you, because that's a tall task, especially if you don't play the game and have no idea what they're talking about. And this game sounds like a foreign language to people who don't play it. Never forget that. Just show it and talk about it with somebody who's never heard of it if you want to see how wild it is that the world that we talk about on this channel every day is normal to us, because it is not normal to anyone else, especially when you talk about the money that's spent on this game. I told somebody once I spent $5 on this game. And to me, yeah, that was a flex. It was like, I got all this for $5. They looked at me like I had just told them that I had robbed a bank. Like, why in the world would you put yourself through that? Why would you do this? Why would you risk your financial health by putting money into a mobile game? And I had to explain, like, because I get a lot out of it. Why do you buy a shirt that you're only going to wear once a month? You're getting almost nothing out of that purchase. I am playing this game as much every day as, in some times, a lot more, than I'm sleeping, than I'm eating, that I'm talking to my fiance, that I'm talking to my family. This game dominates, particularly when I'm not teaching, because that has to take a backseat to my real job. This game dominates my day, so I get a lot out of it because it's how I spend my time. And so I have to tell Kabam Jax, he said on the comment section of forums last week that time is no longer a relevant thing to bring up for value in how Kabam views the economy of the game. And that was the most unfortunate. I still like Kabam Jax a lot. This is not anything against his reputation, but it was the most unfortunate comment I've ever seen him leave, because it's just a ridiculous argument that tells free-to-play players, if you don't spend your money, you have no value to us. This is like when Starbucks first opened. They wanted people to come in. So if you needed free Wi-Fi, they would literally have campaigns around my college campus at the University of Missouri way back in like 2006, 2007 that said, hey, come by Starbucks, use our Wi-Fi. They wanted to lure you in. Well, what do you think happened? Some people went free to play Starbucks. They brought their laptop in for 7 hours, bought nothing, and took up a corner booth. And so eventually, the employees were trained to spot the freeloaders and legally encourage them to leave. Well, right now, Kabam is legally encouraging free-to-play players to either leave or at least spend 29 cents, a dollar, something. Spend something to validate your existence, to validate the amount of money that we are spending so you can play the game, because it is not cheap for us to spend thousands of dollars a month on you when you're not giving us back anything. You're taking that free trial version to the max limit, and that is not what we're here for anymore. When Kabam tells free-to-play players that you are no longer needed or wanted unless you're going to give us at least a dollar or 30 cents, they're seeing the writing on the wall. There are a lot of conspiracy theories right now that Kabam is working on another game that we haven't seen. They know that MCOC's shelf life is coming to an end. They've got to think past this game. They've got to develop something. And my hope is that they want to keep this community to the next game. So people ask me every day, Prof, what are you going to do if this game goes away? And honestly, I don't have an answer for them most of the time, but I did have this thought last night when I couldn't sleep, which of course is every night, that Israel and I love going on dates, and we love helping couples communicate better and we love adventuring together, and we have great banter. We're best friends. I think people seeing that couples can be best friends and not just there for like physical pleasure or companionship is really powerful. I'm not saying those things aren't important, but friendship is the most important thing, because you can have the hottest, freshest relationship ever, but then if your partner gets sick or they break a limb and suddenly they can't be intimate, they can't go to the restroom. Suddenly it's the whole in sickness and in health. It's the sickness part. You've got to have something that's a foundation to your relationship to get you through the rough patches. And I think Israel and I can do a great job on a YouTube channel or even just a podcast of talking about the ups and downs of our own relationship and how that affects our views on trying to help people their own. So that's a random tangent. I'm sorry about the future of my YouTube career if this doesn't work out. But I also would like to think that if Kabam said, hey, all you Marvel Contest of Champions players, we're going to give you this incredible compensation package to play this new game that's going to be what we hope you spend money on, I would make this channel into that game. I would be loyal enough to Kabam because I know the system, I know the layout, I know the general formatting. I assume that the game would be similar to this and that there would be stores that you could purchase things and there would be offers and there would be star rarities and all that. Like they should keep that. Maybe it's for a different universe of characters like the Disney universe game. Was that Mirrorverse? Is that what it's called? Anyhow, that kind of thing. But I couldn't pick up a game 2 or 3 years in and start from scratch and make content that I think anybody should watch. Right now, I'm the voice of the average player, and I take pride in that. And I think the average player makes up more than half of this community. But it's also worth noting that YouTube is as broken as it's ever been, and even people that really want to watch my videos oftentimes can't find them. In some ways, I've been shadow banned from searches. I think it's hilarious because I don't need the money to live, so it sucks that you can go from making $100 in a day to $8. But it's the reality of the algorithm, and it's a great lesson for me to tell my students about how you should never depend on a influencer paycheck as a steady job, because it's like real estate. One month you can do amazing, and the next month you can be as poor as you've ever been in your life. It's just not sustainable, and it's not a fixed variable of cost that you want to inherit when you're trying to get the ability to take care of a spouse or a family or both, or even your siblings. So the bottom line is Kabam sees the writing on the wall. They're trying to get as much money out of the community as possible while they can still get it. I feel like they're treating this game like it's got another 2 to 3 years, not another 10. The writing is on the wall. But the interesting thing is they're shifting it in a way that's made it publicly more sustainable. They talked about how while it cost a lot less for the top whales to get the top gifting event rewards this year, there was still more money spent overall on the event than last year. You may believe them, you may not, but that's their public statement, and I have no reason right now to doubt that. And so they're realizing it might take 1,000 middle-class players to replace our blubberiest whale. But if we don't give those 1,000 players a reason to spend more money, then we are a few whales short from leaving the game of turning off our lights. You cannot, as a company, go all in on a few whales that are keeping the lights on. You have to go for a broader approach. And they've done a better job of that. From daily specials to these micro deals that we're seeing for the first time in front of you right now, to the Kabam website store, even though the market points thing is still one of the shadiest things I've ever seen. All in all, they see the writing on the wall, and it's made it tougher to recruit as an alliance. It's made it tougher to get people to care because everybody's just kind of bored and burnt out. Let's be honest. I'm bored. I'm burned out. I feel like I'm trying to keep a stale relationship fresh. And maybe it's not possible. Maybe the relationship is just, it has an expiration date, and this is the start of that discussion. But on the off chance that maybe it doesn't have an expiration date in the next couple of years, Kabam's going to have to continue to treat most of its players a lot better and give them a reason to spend another $5 to $10 per month. And it's not just for Valiant players on early access bundles. It's got to be Cavalier players and Uncollected players and Thronebreaker players. And they can't just tell players to push for the next progression, because some people are going to say, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to push for the next progression. I think I'm going to actually sit this one out. And we're seeing that more and more. So they can't pressure players so much that they just throw their hands up and say, I'm done. Because, like, my beloved Mama Bear, she spends way money on the game now than she did even a few months ago because she's annoyed at Kabam and also lost her market points because, like me, she didn't know they reset automatically when the new week started. And I did see some comments on that video from people who also found out the hard way from watching my video that their account has been reset to 0. Sucks. Terrible. Hate it. Nothing in the game itself outside of the Kabam website treats your currency that way unless you're talking about items that expire. And guess what? I can see that I've got 6 more hours for these 2 energy refills I need to use. I need to use them or lose them. There was no countdown on the market points. If it said 2 days, 1 day before it expires, that would have been on me, but it didn't. It just had a vague description for something I'd never seen before. This is a longer video than normal, but I think I needed to rant a little bit. To those of you that listened to this all the way through, thank you. If you would like Israel and I to start a YouTube channel, if you think that'd be something you'd be interested in following, even if this game dies tomorrow, let me know. If you don't want it, that's okay too. It's not for everybody, but hopefully it's for somebody.